In a recent video, I offered to expand on something I briefly mentioned if my audience wanted me to. Well, you answered. Shalom, my friends. Yes, what I mentioned had to do with the Ten Commandments, specifically the eighth commandment, you shall not steal. I mentioned that some argue that the commandment really prohibits kidnapping, and several viewers asked for more details. So here we go. To explain this idea, we have to deal with the original language of the Torah, which is, of course, biblical Hebrew. Hebrew words are built around root letters, usually 3 of them. And the root letters we have to talk about today are the Hebraic equivalents of G, N, and V. We'll pronounce it ganav. Put a prefix T in front of it, along with the word lo, which means essentially don't, and you get lo tignov, the exact wording of the 8th commandment, you shall not steal. That's right. In the original Hebrew, 3 of the 10 commandments are only 2 words in length. And because the root letters ganav certainly do refer to stealing, you shall not steal is an acceptable translation. It may well be the correct translation, but a different way of translating it has been discussed for over 1,500 years. The basis for the discussion is the verse Exodus 21:16. He who kidnaps a man, whether he has sold him or is still holding him, shall be put to death. So what's the Hebrew word for kidnap? It's those same root letters, ganav, as in the word steal. In fact, we could translate Exodus 21:16 as he who steals a man. Because what is kidnapping if not stealing a human being? What are some other arguments? The 10th commandment, the prohibition against coveting, has always been understood as a preventative measure against stealing. Do we need 2 commandments devoted to essentially the same act? But the best argument is this one. We get 3 commandments in a row. The prohibitions against murder, adultery, and stealing. Murder and adultery are capital offenses in the Torah. Just as an aside, capital punishment for premeditated murder is the only commandment found in all 5 books of the Torah. But getting back to our topic, we have 2 capital crimes, murder and adultery, followed by a tort. If we translate it, you shall not steal, but if we translate it, you shall not kidnap, then we get 3 capital offenses in a row, and that is what I think is the strongest argument for the you shall not kidnap translation. So, where do I personally come down? I believe the original meaning of the commandment was you shall not kidnap. But over time, its meaning was expanded. After so many centuries of tradition, it would seem odd to me to abandon the you shall not steal translation. Given that so many of the 10 commandments are about building a healthy and durable society, things like honoring parents, prohibiting murder and adultery and perjury, not coveting, a general prohibition against stealing makes perfect sense in this context. But the beautiful thing, to me, is that we don't have to make a choice, unless you happen to be writing your own translation of the Bible, and then you have to pick. But many Hebrew words have a duality of meaning. And a member of the original audience for the Torah, an ancient Israelite, would have had both meanings in mind simultaneously. So does the Torah say not to steal or not to kidnap? Yes, indeed it does. So there you have the case for a different translation of the Ten Commandments. I'm curious, where do you come down on this question? Let me know in the comments box. I hope you found this video informative or at least worth listening to. If you did, please go ahead and hit that YouTube thumbs up button. That helps more viewers see our videos. You may have noticed that for the second week in a row, we welcomed a new patron to the Rabbi study. I so appreciate the support of all my patrons. And if you would like to become one yourself, please use the link to Patreon in the description box. And of course, subscribers, we continue to grow our number of subscribers, and that also helps put our videos in front of more viewers. Subscribing is free. You just have to be logged into YouTube to subscribe. So please log in, watch one of our videos, and at the end, click on my face right over here and ring the notification bell. You can also watch our last video by clicking on its icon right over there. As ever, until next time, Shabbat Shalom.